Hi. Today we're going to be revisiting one of my more popular uploads, night photography and Polaroids. And let's just roll that intro first. What's going on, people? I hope you're all staying healthy and out of the alt-right pipeline. I'm Manuel, and today we're going to be diving back into night photography with the Polaroid One Step Plus. This is something of a follow-up video to the one I did at the Santa Monica Pier, where I basically found that overexposing two stops worked best in those lighting situations, and I ended up pretty much ditching my light meter, the handheld one, in favor of the in-camera meter. So today we're gonna see if that translates well into general street photography and if I could get better results with 3-stop overexposures to maybe get some more detail out of the shadows, since, as a lot of you know, this stuff is far from affordable, making experimenting not really practical, which is, or wouldn't be, as frustrating if there wasn't a lack of information available online about how to do this type of photography. So let's get a few things out of the way before we start the video, just for those of you looking for tips on the subject. Number one, you're gonna need a tripod or some sort of sturdy surface where you can let your one-step camera rest without being disturbed. A lot of these shots are gonna require a shutter speed of 8 to 30 seconds, meaning you won't be able to, handhold without introducing a ton of camera shake. And second, this is specifically an experiment with the Polaroid One Step Plus and not any other type of Polaroid camera, as this version offers manual exposure mode via the Bluetooth features. And the reason why that's important is because you can set your shutter speed and your aperture without having to let the camera decide what to do. But yeah, I would like to eventually try experimenting with those other cameras and see if I can manage to get similar results. But, first I need the funds to be able to afford this film. But in the here and now, well, we're gonna dive into downtown Orange and see what we can get. Get close. You have to get close for when I do this stuff, just so. Yes, thank you. That's it. That's all.
Is that it?
Yes, for now.
Oh my god, are you putting your signature on it? Oh my gosh.
I'm putting it at 15 seconds. How much is
Like literally, look, there's like 4 couples right here that aren't even wearing masks. Oh my god, and there's like so many more people behind them. No one's wearing masks. So the other people wearing masks.
There you go. Clean up your country. Eight seconds at f32, and it's 3 stops overexposed. But as I showed in my night photography video before with Polaroid, you have to overexpose 2 stops for something to show up. And we got 2 more shots, or 1 after this one. As you can see, this film did not always like the 3-stop overexposure, and in fact, the only shots that really seemed to come out were the ones where the light meter showed that I was closer to 2 stops overexposure than 3. And there was also this weird light streak that kind of cut off towards the end. I'm not sure if that was due to being in direct, light, or if it was from the cars, but it seemed to prop up more when there was a 30-second exposure. And I was also pretty dumb here and tried to account for any parallax by slightly tilting the camera up from what I originally wanted, ignoring that I was far enough from the subject for that issue to be non-existent. So yeah, given that I messed up kind of a lot actually, I decided to go back out for round 2 since I had recently tested negative for COVID and knew I would be returning to work the following week. So, just to make this longer for you guys. So yeah, I packed up my gear and went out to downtown Fullerton. And this time I stuck to my 2-stop overexposure rule. So awkward rant over, back to video.
Good. Oh, now their turn signal's on.
Last minute. All right, everyone, that was the video. Thank you again for stopping by. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's episode. I also have a first impressions of the Polaroid SX70 coming up next. And if you like this video, feel free to check out the one I did at the Santa Monica Pier or any of the other instant photography videos I have up. I'm actually planning to burn through the stock I have in my fridge since it's all pretty much close to 2 years. So as much crap as I talk about Polaroid film, it's held up this long, so that's saying something, right? And, I'm just itching to shoot again after a year of not being able to, do any portraits due to my job as an EMT and the constant exposure I have to patients who are COVID positive. As for this video, I hope this was helpful for anyone looking to dial in their exposure settings for night photography. I was debating about including my exact exposure settings, but again, I didn't want to be overly technical beyond the general advice of, how I exposed for the scenes. As much as I'd like to go into more detail about that and give, exposure comparisons like I do with my normal film review videos, Polaroid film is far too expensive for that. And yes, shoot film, stay broke, whatever. But if you shoot Polaroid, you're gonna go into debt. That said, I would like to make a lot more videos centered around Polaroid. For one, they are my more popular videos and continue to garner views long after they've been posted. And I like the idea of making content that has that longevity instead of something that, maxes out its view count at the first 2 days it's uploaded. But also, I do love the look, and as superficial as that second reason is, there's nothing that beats instant film when you nail that exposure. I just wish peel apart film wasn't so expensive anymore, or discontinued, since the cameras that accepted that were offered you a lot more control and had some more consistency than what I've been getting with the Polaroid film. And not to throw any stones, at the end of the day, what Impossible Project did was nothing short of amazing in their success of preventing this film stock from truly dying. But you're an idiot if you think that fact alone absolves them from any criticism. I still don't like the fact that with the I-type film, the battery's been removed and we still only get 8 shots. And there's also this lack of data on the film or how to best meter for those of us who like to have that control. There's also the lack of info on reciprocity failure, and that's all maybe more information than myself or most amateurs will use that shoot this film. But since they marketed this camera as something to experiment with for both professionals and amateurs alike, it would have been great to see some more from the company rather than having to dig through Reddit forums, especially considering the price tag on these cameras and the $2 to $3 bucks you spend per shot. I mean, they make it. It makes no sense to me why they can't promote that, but whatever. And it's not even diving into my more usual complaints about the developing times or how I've always found, that it's longer than what's advertised. And I don't care what you get. That's just, I feel like I'm gonna make a video about that sometime because I'm tired of people being like, well, they said it on the website that it takes this long. And I'm like, shut up, dude. I'm shooting it. You see me shooting it in this video. But anyways, that's my video. These are my complaints and tips. Obviously, I shouldn't expect free Polaroid products for review, but hell, I'd rather stay honest than shill for a company. But yeah, until then, or until the next video, keep chasing that light.